if I'd even know. Great day.
Okay, so we said we can cancel which directions? We can cancel diagonally. Where else?
And left and right.
Oh. Yeah, cancel left and right.
Up and down.
And up and down. So up and down and diagonally. So let's start with diagonally here. Is there anything that goes into both 8 and 32? So we want to get the biggest number because we'll have to spend more time canceling if we don't get the biggest one. So it's 8, right? And how many 8s in 32? 4. So anything else that could cancel in the x cubed y and x squared y to the 4th?
X squared and then y.
Okay, so x squared in both of them. So x squared. And then this, what does this x cubed become? X. Questions on that?
No.
And then also a y. So this y cancels and this y to the 4th becomes?
Just y
to the 3rd. So now we're going to cancel the other direction. Is there anything that goes into this? One's a little simpler. So let's say
put 5 and y.
Good. That's exactly what I would do. So 5y. So this would become 3. And then if we have a 5y here, the x is going to stay, and then another y is going to stay. So 4 times 3 is 12x over x, y to the 4th. Now we want to take a look and see if, now we want to look to see if there's anything up and down that we can cancel. The x, there's an x that's in common on both, isn't there? So we can cancel out an x and an x. So this is 12 over y to the 4th. Does that make sense? Okay, next one. So that was all multiplication. So we can't cancel anything yet on number 2 because it is not multiplication. The only place we have multiplication is right here, this dot. And nothing is the same right now. So what is it that we have to do to be able to cancel? We have to factor here. So we've got to factor all of this. So how does 3x minus 6, how can we factor that? How can we factor 3x minus 6? Good. So it becomes 3 times what? Kristen. X minus 2, yes. Okay, and the denominator, how do we factor that? Good, it becomes 5 times. Leah, tell us what's left. So it's like dividing by 5, but it's not really dividing by 5. It's like dividing by 5, so you're x minus, what's 5 divided by 5? Oh, sorry. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So now we're going to factor here. The x minus 8 doesn't factor, and then we want to factor the x squared minus 10x plus 16. How do we factor that? Yeah, we're going to make an x because it is 3 terms, quadratic. What multiplies to 16 that adds to negative 10? This group here, tell me, what multiplies to 16 that adds to negative 10?
8 and 2, or negative 8 and negative 2.
Yep. So what are my 2 factors then?
X minus 8, x minus 2.
Good. And so what cancels? Go ahead in this same group. Tell me what cancels.
X minus 8.
Good. And x minus 2. So our answer is going to be 3 on the top and 5 times x minus 1. So I always get the question on this, could we multiply through by 5 and make it 5x minus 5 on the bottom? Yes, you can. I usually do what's easiest. There's no need for me to multiply through, so I don't. But it doesn't matter. If you want, if you choose to do that, that's fine.
Big personality. Oh, you got it.
Okay, problem number 3. Let's see. This group here. Tell me how we would factor on number 3. So, good question. Can we cancel with these here? It's not multiplication, so we can't. I'm glad you brought that up because I'm getting a lot of people wanting to do that today. So we keep that the same, the p plus 10, and then I'm going to do something with the 9 minus p in a minute. This up here, does that factor?
Yeah. There you go.
What multiplies to negative 36? It adds to negative 5.
And then 4.
Yep. And so if you can do this without writing it down, that's your goal. That'd be great. So this would be, what would our factored answer be? Somebody besides Ariella. Good. And then what about that denominator there? Any one of you? It's 4p squared plus 16. Times? Good. Questions on how she got the p plus 4 there? Remember, 4p times p is 4p squared. 4p times 4 is 16p. So you have to be able to get back to that. So now on the 9 minus p, pay attention to this. Okay, you haven't seen something like this before. Can I rewrite this as negative 9 or negative p plus 9?
No.
This right here.
Actually, no, you cannot.
Is 9 minus p the same thing as negative p plus 9?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I want to get to this p minus 9. So I'm going to factor out a negative 1 from that. So I know this is weird. It's different. So negative 1 times what gives me negative p?
We're going to get negative p and plus negative.
Would it be a positive p or a negative p?
Positive p.
Positive. Because p times negative 1 gives me negative p, right? And then negative 1 times what gives me positive 9? Negative 9. So I did that because now I can cancel out the p minus 9 once I factor out the negative 1. If I didn't, it's hard for me to see that I can cancel that out. So what can I cancel out? Here, this group, what can we cancel? Yep. Okay, so now when we write our answer, we have this weird math thing where we do not like a negative in the denominator. So if that a negative, we don't want to put it down in the denominator. Again, it's just this weird math thing. That's the only thing I can say to explain it. So like if you had a multiple choice test, they would put that negative up on the top and then probably multiply it out, distribute there. Negative p minus 10 over 4p. When you get into pre-calculus, my guess is that they will do that too. There, bring those negatives up to the top. Again, it's just a weird math thing. We don't like the negative in the denominator.
Sorry. Sorry.
Okay, number 4.
I'm sorry.
Number 4, I want you to do that as a you try.
Make it make sense, please.
Sorry, I thought you were paying attention.
Yeah.
I'm
All right.
Yeah. We're doing 8, 4, or 4.
We're going to do.
You're doing number 4, yeah. On your own.
So we're going to take X out of it.
It's not.
So we can't do it.
It's not listening.
What is it doing?
Q.
Jackson. Yes. Finalist. Yes. Give me 5. Not 1. Go form some right, buddy. Go form some right. You don't help. You don't help. There you go.
No, that would be on this
Is that where you live? Is that where you're next to live? Oh, really? Because like you see so you get like PTSD. They're just like you're fucking tired.
I can see that. I didn't see that.
If you don't get it, you're right.
Oh. The head ball with the right on top? Oh, I saw it.
Hell no.
If you don't get it, we'll make it fun of you because you're. Oh, thank you. This is fucking gold.
No.
So you're gonna suck it. Why did you say something?
Him? Peterson? Oh. Okay, here's your answer up here. Some of you might choose to distribute on the top. That's fine. Questions on that? Okay, number 5. We're going to stop at number 5. We'll finish that one and then we'll stop there.
Yeah.
So how does b squared minus 49 factor?
You're just gonna get b
I'm going to
minus.
call on somebody. Let's see. Let's call on this.
You're actually gonna call on someone.
How does b squared minus 49 factor? Let me know if you need a hint. B plus 7 and b minus 7. Good. And then what about the 4b squared minus 24b? How does that factor? 4b? And so what do we put right here? Because 4b times b minus 6. Good. And then in the denominator, how does that factor? And again, if you can do this in your head rather than writing it out, that's great because it'll save you some space. We've got a lot of writing on these here. So 7 and -6. So V plus 7, V minus 6. So, Jason, what can we cancel? V minus 6. Anything else? Good. So we also have one more thing that can be canceled, and if you wrote it out and didn't cancel, that's okay. You can cancel after. Anything else that can cancel? Anybody in that group? Yeah, the B's and any number in that? Yeah, 4B. So 4V, this just becomes 1, and this becomes 5V what? Squared. So we get V minus 7 over 5V squared. That's it, just over 5V squared.
That's the final answer.
That's your final answer.
You don't need to find the domain or anything?
Nope.